Okay, I think we're live. I need to, hold on 1 second. Okay, I think we're live. Just testing the audio. I need to, hold on 1 second. Okay, I think we're live. Just testing the audio. I need to, hold on 1 second. Okay, I think we're live. Just testing the audio. I need to, hold on 1 second. Okay, I think we're live. Just testing the audio. I need to, hold on 1 second. Okay, I think it's good. Let's see. I'm still, getting some things prepared. Just hold on 1 second. I wasn't exactly fully prepared for this stream. Alright, let's see. Channel. Okay, I need to have the game up. 1 second. Hold on. Just 1 second. Alright, very good. So, this is Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. I've been waiting for this game for like 4 years, ever since it was announced in 2018. They got delayed a bunch, but for good reason, because they added a bunch more stuff. And to be honest, I was gonna wait until I streamed this because I wanted like a fresh new start, but I couldn't help myself, and I bought the game twice because it was only $25, and so I bought the game twice, once on PC and once on Switch, and I've just been playing it on my Switch. And like I couldn't help myself. Okay, I couldn't resist. I've been waiting on this game for too long. I was too excited for it. I couldn't wait until this weekend to play it. Yes, I couldn't wait just like 3 days to play it. But it's awesome. But I'm still gonna, obviously, I'm gonna do literally everything there is to do in this game on stream. So even though I've seen a lot of this, that doesn't mean I won't enjoy it again, obviously. This is a fresh new install, and so the only thing you missed was whenever I started up the game, it asked what time it was, and that was pretty much it. So let's begin the game.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Hello, Helen Clark. Thanks for the congratulations. I appreciate it.
All of his
Even
coworkers
though I
were
didn't
gone.
really do
What
a
could it
whole
mean?
lot to deserve
Stanley decided
it,
to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
but I appreciate it nonetheless, even though I didn't really do much to deserve 700. I haven't made a video in like 2 weeks. I was gonna do something last week on it, but I just decided not to. But I am excited to play this, obviously. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Remade. I think it's now in Unity. It was in Source Engine, but now it's in Unity in the Unity engine. And it looks pretty much identical.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Alright, so do we obey? Do we go against? I say we go against because...
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Something I wanted to test.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
And I'm good.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Alright, so I said this at the beginning of the stream, but in case you missed it, I've played pretty much everything there is to do in this game, but I can't guarantee that I've done absolutely everything. So I might have missed some things, I don't know. Because there's so much potential content that there could be in this game that I just could be completely missing. I have no idea. So...
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Crap, what was it I wanted to try? Oh yeah, I know what I wanted to try.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stan.
I forgot to do something. Hold on. First, set this to 75. Prefer a slightly wider field of view. And, large. Just for
your chance to
viewers.
redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
That'll make it a little easier for you guys to read the subtitles since the videos and since the stream's in 480p, as I usually do. Alright.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly
Reach out to
place
her.
your faith in another,
Reach out to this plug.
then pick up the phone.
Unplug the phone.
As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world.
Okay.
Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Alrighty.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
My goodness, is it 4:30?
Excellent.
Okay, well.
Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
I love that background music.
Ah, welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
I want to drive a forklift. Alright. Drive this forklift. I can't get on this one. Okay, so what I wanted to try, because I've done this in the original game, but it didn't do anything, so I was wondering if it was still possible here. It's very hard to do, but you can, like, get into this and then back right out and then let this gate close, and then the thing will just move on without you. Then you can drop to the floor and not die. So let's give it a try. I don't know if it's gonna be possible.
Now that you know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying.
Man.
Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all.
I wanted to
we
try
just need
it.
to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
And I wanted to try it, but I guess not. Alright. Well, let's continue on. Oh bam! Oh bam! Oh bam! Oh bam! Okay. Okie dokie,
Almost
artichoke.
there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
I don't know, I'm touching every door. I know that they don't do anything.
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Alright.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
I never actually read these. How to solve a dispute with a coworker, let it ball up inside you, take it out passive-aggressively on other coworkers, present coworkers for not supporting you more. Yeah, that sounds about right. Alright. Oh, I can't open the broom closet. No! I don't want to get in the broom closet. Alright. Wait.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Bathroom? Double doors. Oh, okay. Can I go in here and back out? So I know that you can do it in the normal ending. I've never actually tried it on this ending. I don't actually know if it's possible.
Stepping inside his manager's
Dang.
office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
I don't think it's
Shocked,
possible.
unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Nightshark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Nightshark 115. Okay. I always used to think it was Night Shock 115 because of the narrator's accent.
Stanley spoke the code. Nightshark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
Nightshark 115. Oh.
I'm
Nope.
sorry, is there a problem?
Yes.
You didn't mishear me, did you?
Nope.
Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
Well, narrator, I'm kind of trying, but it's not possible. Also, what is this? What is a door? It's so dirty behind this
fine.
door.
You're not going to do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it
Don't
means to
shoot
take
the
a story
panda.
seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right.
read
You could
that.
have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Alrighty. Is it even going to be any different?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Guys, I think we broke the game. Well, not really. I think we broke the narrator.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
I wanted to go broom closet.
behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story
Fine,
first.
I'll go the other
I'm
way.
quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No, I guess not this time.
No! Why did you do that?
Oh, it
Quickly,
wouldn't let me go
hurry
the
back
other
in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
He wouldn't let me go the other way. I mean, he would, but it reset. Alright, time to see the office destroyed. For the meeting room, or whatever.
Oh, it's ruined.
I just realized the
I can't
chairs
believe
are
after
open
everything
crown.
we talked about that you... my story. You've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone? Left here like so much garbage. It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
No. Oh man.
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You. Who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny?
A little.
You just had to see?
Yeah.
Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley?
I am
He
Stanley.
actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you. You're a
I don't know
child.
how to pronounce your name.
Oh, my
It's very
story.
weird.
If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard to make...
Uh-oh.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Stanley.
Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there?
I'm here, narrator.
It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
So sad. No. But of course, the first ending I had to do was the true ending, because that's my favorite ending.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Hey, is it time for new content? No, guess not. Alright, well. Let's just continue on forward.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I want to show off one of the new endings.
Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider.
Thought I could get on this chair. I guess not. Okay.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nah.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
This is one of the new endings. I do like it, but it's not really much. There's a little event here. And, I wish there was some way to drop to the ground and survive, but even if you were, like, pretty dang close to the ground, it will still just automatically kill you. There's like a death plane. So, we'll just go in here. Whee! Hey.
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun so far off the beaten path that it You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you?
Nope.
What a silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording? It was all just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling. It must be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do.
Is this the serious table?
Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
No. I just want to explore.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Actually, we're gonna click on door 40.
Please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement?
Yep.
Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth?
Yep.
No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks.
Yep.
Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
Alright.
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
Alright, here we go.
No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
Let's click all the doors.
Great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
I don't know why I closed this.
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
Alrighty. Oh no, I can't do this achievement because the new content is here now. It's eventually going to ask me to click on this door, but it's not the right door. Okay, oh well, we'll do the achievement later. I wish there was some way to get on that side. Of course, I can't just possibly close this door. There. New content time! Hooray! I believe this next section is a reference to a FNAF game. I think it's a reference to FNAF Help Wanted.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
Smiley face.
Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Yay!
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Yep. Off we go. Come on.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Broken elevator moment.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if them... Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Alright.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Jump! Ooh. Very pitiful jump, but at least it's something. And you slow down incredibly when jumping. Whee! The only point in the game where we can actually jump. Alright, we'll keep it at 15 for now.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Maybe.
Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
I think if you were to actually count to 30 trillion, it'd take a little bit more than a few thousand hours. And then probably take a few years.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable.
Is there actually an achievement that oh, I can't review achievements right now. Okay.
It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game?
Sure.
And we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always.
Yep.
What do you say, friend?
Sounds good to me. Woohoo! Yes. Yes. New stuff. New stuff. I can't go back in my office. Okay. It's a picture of the room that we're normally supposed to be in.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
I don't know, it seems a bit sus. I don't think I want to vent just yet.
Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you?
I
Well,
do.
fine. You're a dork. Oh, never mind. You're not a dork.
I am a dork, but a good dork. I'm a good dork. Coffee nut. I don't know why. What is this?
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
This vent looks like the vents in Black Mesa. Ooh. Nice and pretty.
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Nice. Look, we finally escaped the facility. We're outside in the outdoors. There's like very subtle music playing in the background. It's nice. Kind of hard to hear, but that's the point, I think.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
I don't think this is this even an actual quote in the game? I don't remember if it is. I don't think it is. What's this door go to? Zone, sweet zone. Ah, 2013, when the Stanley Parable was released. Yep. It's 2013. Apparently it's 8:13 p.m. It doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it on the outside. It looks bright and sunny. Oh, is it the Kickstarter website? Oh, it's the like original official website. Okay, what does that say? The end is never the end. The what everyone's saying. End is yeah, okay. Random pictures of the facility. Okay. Let's begin again. Good times. Is the serious room. The serious table. Smile because it happened. A trip down memory lane. It's like the soundtrack of the. I mean, the original Stanley Parable doesn't really have a whole lot of music. Probably the best song in the game is. It's the demo. It's cool. There's no mouse though. It's just a keyboard. I think the best song in the original game is the adventure line. There. Okay. Colleges show uneven effort to enroll poor, cause hinder new tech to achieve diversity. Business leaders pushing election. Oh, boring. Late edition. Today, sunny, hot, humid, high 92. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, warm, and humid, low. Okay, it's kind of boring. I was expecting the like a secret or something. Rutgers goes from scandal to new crisis. Creator surprisingly down to earth. With a Stanley Parable deals tough choices. LaTimes.com. Oh, LATimes.com. Is that a real website? Okay. Sounds like The Last of Us music.
Je suis dans la mémorisation, seul sur l'abri des loups, et je n'attends plus que toi, mon amour.
Little Stanley. It's a hamster.
C'est la
Guinea pig. I'm not sure. I think
mémorisation,
it's a hamster.
je me remémore les
Oh.
jours où je t'ai rencontré, mon amour.
Is the piano up there playing this music?
Mais ici,
Why is there a piano up there?
aussi où je me souviens de la sortie de The Stanley Parable.
I heard the Stanley Parable. I don't know what that language is.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing
It's
the
Half-Life
original
2.
Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim. It was Persona 3. It was all of them. And now, it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Elevator content. Flawless victory. Games rated 10 aren't perfect, since nothing is. Well then, no, 10 means perfect. That's what that means. It's a perfect game. There's nothing wrong with it. Stanley Parable. Oh, is it just the script? Oh, okay. That's cool. Okay. Why do I keep yawning? Jeez. Box. I want the box. The choice doors. The menu. Minecraft. What is that? I can't. It kind of looks like it looks like this one game that's really similar to this game called I don't know, it has a ridiculously long title to make fun of like RPG games, I guess. Person of the Year. Well, it's obviously Stanley. I don't know why his face is blurred. You can clearly see his face in many other places. I hate on days. On days. Alright, let's go. Oh yeah, this is the developer thing, I guess. I don't know.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com.
Source
The
resources.
Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games, and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Good, spectacularly funny, packed with meaningful choices that offer delightfully surprising results, simultaneously incredibly smart and wickedly entertaining. But that's the person that wrote this. Okay, that's cool. The serious room. Alrighty.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh no. Oh God, no.
Steam
Stanley, it's a
reviews.
collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
The Steam reviews. Oh no. There's a positive one right here.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
You could hear music coming from the car. I don't know if you guys can hear that. It's like very faint bass. That's funny. I missed something. Oh man, okay. Whatever, let's go. Another positive review. I can't read it though. Why is he?
Let's see what this
Why is he only focusing on the negative
Well, the
ones?
idea for the game is good.
This is
For
a
someone
good
who
one right
prefers
here.
non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did.
Noodle
Maybe it
chef.
wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Well, let's go. Steam reviews. I'm not stuck, am I? All I did was climb on a rock. No. How did I get stuck? Come on, game. No! I was in the middle of this. Come on. I didn't think just climbing on a little rock would get me stuck. Well, that's what I get for doing that all the time. It's a habit, okay? Dang. Ah! We gotta go all through that again. Okay. I might have to. Don't worry, I'll speed through it.
Psst. Stanley!
Yeah.
Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something.
Sorry about that. I did not think that would happen.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable... And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism. 10 out of 10
We've
from
already heard all this.
James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore.
Kevin, can we get back to the Steam reviews, please?
A lifeless
Also, the narrator's name is
of
Kevin Briding, in
elevator
case you're
content.
wondering who I'm talking about. Skip this other review. Whatever.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories. These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the Memory Zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh, no. Oh, God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well.
Kevin, can we move on, please?
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them. Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley, I'm not preachy, am I?
Preachy?
You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Yes. This is actually quite shocking for me. To be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't.
Hey, let's go.
What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down.
No,
Perhaps
you're not a
Parable
failure.
isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
You are absolutely not a failure, Kevin. I should probably just call him the narrator, because, you know, Kevin is the real person, and narrator is the character. Also, developers, please get rid of this rock. Or at least make it able to climb back over, so I don't get stuck. I mean, I'm the dumb one who got myself stuck in the first place, but still.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Here we go. Into the skip button room. I can just walk right out. What? Okay.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story, and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah, 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 blah. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto.
Manifesto.
Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made,
yeah,
you bring that
I have a lot of
being,
tolerance,
then
so
by
I'm not
making
really
no
bothered
choice
by
and
this
saying nothing,
thing.
are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your Greek gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite? You see, it could in fact be both of these things at once, that you are both making choices and not making choices, and that they are both affecting you and not affecting you at the same time by virtue of the fact that you both are and are not making them. Okay, at first, I was leaning towards manifesto, but now I'm going to circle around and slap the treatise label on this one. I think it has much more of a treatise vibe to it. But wouldn't you say that manifesto just has a much grander sort of tone? It has a mouthfeel that is rich with ambition and history. Ambitious history, if you will. Ah. See, now you've gotten me going back to manifesto. Heaven...
Alright.
Oh, well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you?
Up trees,
But that's the power of
and
the
manifesto,
button. The minute I start
whatever.
to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place.
I don't
guess
even know
I
if
should
they can.
become better educated.
I've
on
never
exactly how
given a Steam
works.
review before.
Perhaps that would
I
have been
don't
the
really
smart thing
care
to check on
to-
before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button.
Actually, no.
Although I have
I've
to
given
imagine
one
that
Steam
after
review
seeing this
before. I don't
exciting
remember
new
what game
technology
it
at
was
work,
for.
Surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review. Maybe
Whatever it
because of
was,
this
it
very
was
situation.
a
Yes,
game
I
that
think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll
had a
simply
lower
grant
score
this
than I think
particular
it
user
deserved.
the ability to change
So
their review.
it was like
so that the
mostly
feature is not
positive or something.
widely
I don't even know what game it was.
I would
I don't
even be
remember.
okay with Steam altering this particular review so that it reads as something
Hey,
more
leave.
beneficial.
Please.
Something along the lines of, this
Narrator.
game is the best
Can you
game.
let me out?
Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity.
Alright.
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping
No, the
through
door.
is becoming longer and longer.
No.
That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes.
Oh no.
It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room?
Yes.
I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole?
You could enter it through a
Sufficiently
vent.
large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button.
You're the
to go
narrator.
anywhere other
You
than
made
the
this
skip
room
button.
appear.
There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was. Where did it go?
Make a door out of thin air.
Maybe just ram your way through a wall?
Yes, I
Is
wish.
there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until
can
enough
only-
damage is done for you to be able to leave?
It can only
Please,
go so
I'll
fast.
take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from one room to another. I'm
Yes,
going to
that's
step
what
away
doors
for
do.
just a moment, and I'm going to try to find us a door. I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way, I promise. You just need to not do anything. Don't press the skip button. Please,
a promise that you can
please
actually
do
make.
not press the skip button. Just wait here for me, and don't press the skip button. Got it? Yes, good. I'll be right back.
Well, unfortunately, narrator, you never actually come back, so I kind of have to press the button. Unless you do come back like several hours later, in which case I'm not gonna wait for that. At least not in the stream. So...
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here, and more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it, and I have to believe. I have to know that sooner or later...
How did you
no
make
matter
this room
how much
appear,
I
then?
plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking and thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise.
Why would you make a room that you can't even do
And it's
anything
all
in?
because of those reviews. Those reviews...
Why
that
would you
couldn't
make
get
a
out of my
whole room
head. I
just for a
couldn't
skip button
ignore the
anyways?
negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea who they are. What would it ever really matter? But here I am. I'm fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child, wild and impulsive. I can't help myself. I can't stop myself from lashing out with a vengeful fury to alter and to change and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one person who made a single negative comment. What does such an impulse serve? For whose benefit is this? And here I am now, stuck in a room, waiting for you to press this button, and to become frozen in time, knowing that you're going to do it, and that I'm going to be stuck all alone, and that I had the power to prevent it all from happening, if only I'd held my tongue. It's all out of my control now. Just you. Just your decision as to exactly when you're going to make me suffer, to leave me all alone. Surely you will. I don't doubt it. Surely you'll press that button again, leaving me here. And surely you'll put your own desire to see what's next ahead of my need for company, for companionship. Surely you'll not be moved by my howls of fitful anxiety that you sit with me and just stay here. Oh, no, 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 I know you too well. You'll be leaving me oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews.
Okay, he's looping
those
now.
reviews
Let's
that
go.
I couldn't... Oh, Stanley, you're back.
I don't want to
You're
skip
back.
forward.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't have any
someone
other
to talk to
choice.
Again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters
I'm a
anymore.
vessel.
I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll
Apparently.
burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that
You
I'm
know that
saying,
I
I need
need
to know you can
narrator.
hear me.
I need
Because
to
maybe,
get out of
Stanley,
this
maybe
little room.
If you can hear me, then maybe...
Can you make a
it
door
means
up
I'm
here,
real.
please?
Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps. Yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it. I can't be taken by it, Stanley. I can't lose myself in a stretch of emptiness between you and me. When you press that button, you're still right there, but I know you're so tremendously far away. And in those moments, the emptiness folds itself outward in between the two of us, and I am suspended in its unyielding quietness. I can feel the edges of my reality curdling inward and decaying. I can tell that I am becoming less and less real. Yet to speak to you now, I am alive. I am truly and completely here. I am a being. I am someone. I am something. I am being listened to. I am being recognized. The emptiness between us has collapsed, and I feel right now like I am not a work of fiction.
Narrator, I don't want to abandon you, but you're kind of making it
Cast a
hard.
shadow onto the wall.
Because,
you see what I'm saying, don't you?
You know, I
can
can't
see
really
what
do
this
anything.
means to me. I'm so clear about it now, Stanley. I feel as certain about this as I've ever felt about anything at all. I feel renewed. I feel restored, and already I can sense the looming silence as you will press the button for the next time. What a terrible dread it strokes in my heart to think of it, to think of returning to such coldness. Come, let us sit in silence together here for just a moment. Let us anticipate it. Let us welcome it. Let us not run from it.
Okay, well, that's not where I expected him to stop talking, but you know, I'd rather you actually try to, you know, spend all this time trying to figure out how to get me out of this room, rather than just wanting me to be here just so you can talk. I feel bad, but Alright, let's go. Well,
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year?
No.
Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed by it. I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence,
I'm trying my
without
best to
action
listen
or
to you,
outcome.
narrator.
It was
but
divorced entirely from the question
you're
of
making
free
this
will
exhausting.
that you and I have squabbled over for so long. There could be no one ending, no singular outcome of events, not if all events existed in the...
Well, there he goes. He's all quiet now. Maybe he's sleeping. Got a fire alarm? I believe so. And there it goes. Alright, shut up, beeping. Let's go.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes! It seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives. It has come to represent us. It absolutely must speak to who we are as people, because otherwise, without our entertainment, we have nothing. Without entertainment, we would have to face inward toward the cruel bleakness inside ourselves. We would turn to look at our deeper nature and find a resounding emptiness gazing back with unyielding aggression. And so because of this, we require that our amusements and our playthings and our flights of fancy be so impossibly captivating that they consume all of our attention, turn our heads completely away from the bleakness. In effect, we have demanded that our entertainment be the collapse of ourselves. What a pitiful reflection of humanity these entertainments are. What a shameful mirror to the human spirit they project. I'm not mad. I'm not mad about any of this. I'm at peace with it. I am the calm center of gravity around which these perversions hurl themselves. I am a waypoint for reasonable and collective discourse.
I'm tired
They're
of this.
the ones who are...
I'm sorry, narrator, it was too much. Too much. Now here we are in silence. Not even the air conditioning is doing anything. Drips of water. Well, time to skip.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end,
Alright, I'm skipping. I don't want to deal with that. It's a lot more water. Oh. Well, there it goes. Are we deep underground? Is it just really dark outside with no stars? Weird. Sunlight. Beautiful. Nice and pretty plants. This kind of reminds me of Portal. Hey, I see a tree outside. That's nice. Oh, it's surrounded by trees. There's a big tree right there. On top of the building. Okay. Back to dark spookiness again. Okay, now it sounds like Half-Life 2. Why does Half-Life 2 keep coming into play in this stream? Alright. Alright. No thanks, I'm good. Well, we're outside. Oh, it's bright. The ocean is gone. Everything is gone. It's just rocks and sand. And we're finally out of the building. I just wish the narrator was here with us. It's probably been like hundreds, maybe thousands of years. And we're back in the office. Well, that was crazy. Alright.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Hey,
What
narrator.
did it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I'm really happy
No matter
to...
how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trick. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference. Nor did it advance the story in any way.
It was darker, brother. I'm glad to hear the narrator back again. Input received. Okay. New content. Woohoo!
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Woohoo! Exciting new content. Woohoo! This stream is probably going to be about like 2 hours long or so. Alright.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step
And so far it's been pretty
which is
good.
why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever the Stanley Parable 2.
Woo! Yeah, that's basically what
Yes,
we're playing.
you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Testing 2 printers at the same time. Okay. 427. It's really cool looking.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there.
It's the adventure line.
Future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Hello? It was uncomfortably quiet in here, though. It's the fern. 2 ferns. That one looks like The Last of Us. That one looks familiar too. I don't remember what that's referencing. That one looks familiar too. I like that one. The 2 in the parable. Thanks for attending my meeting. Speaker notes. Me clicking on it actually sounds like I'm using the keyboard. Alright.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it.
Sip.
I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of
Pyramid.
interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of
Data
naturally
drink.
spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
I hear something behind this door. Meeting plan. Scrum, whatever that means. Design pitch break. Pitch design. Number 2 chat. Is that just a chat about the number 2? I'm making weird 2s. 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, 2 arms, 2 legs. Who took the red marker? Me. Alright. Let's go. I don't know what the heck that sound was. Portal. There's Half-Life 2 again. Portal 2, Half-Life 2, Batman Arkham Asylum 2. City. Okay. Divinity. Oh, original. I thought it said Onginal. Sin 2. Doom 2. Aladdin 2. Return of Jafar. Dark Souls 2. Sequels are good. Well, in terms of video games, they're usually pretty good. Usually. And by usually, I mean Outlast 2 is terrible compared to Outlast 1. And Unravel 2 is pretty good, but nowhere near as good as the original Unravel. And sequels are usually good, but not always. Also, I can just walk right through this box. Meeting at 2 p.m. Oh, okay. Alright, nothing new. This way to the show floor. New features! There's a bus. No flowers? No, I think that's what that is. Or it might just be food. I don't know. Oh, it's another bus behind there. Alright. Oh. Time to get this show on the road. Whoa.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Cool. We gotta get the bucket. Bucket.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable.
Want the
Can you
bucket?
imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes,
want a bucket.
the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on,
Bucket.
give it a try.
Bucket.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person.
Oh.
The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
I got the bucket. Woohoo.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
And this one has more colors, so I like color.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well Someday it is.
And screw you. And they're all get well someday.
Maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Let's try to get the achievement.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes, you see, okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
That sounds familiar, and not in a good way. I want the achievement. When I hear gamers, we hear you, it sounds like something EA would say. Oh. It's a small bug. I think I need to fix that. Even the door thing disappears. Yeah, they probably need to fix that.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Down here. More hole. Infinity falling. Okay. It just keeps going. Oh, hey.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Woohoo! Woohoo!
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my
It's
more
wonderful.
ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
What if I don't want to? I just want to keep
Now,
falling.
I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
I don't know about that. I want to see where this thing goes.
Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem.
Dang.
Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean.
I didn't say
Why
anything.
don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you,
mostly.
then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll
Sure.
just be up here when you're ready.
Just the two of us, we can make it. If we tried, just the two of us, just the two of us, just the two of us. Building castles in the sky, just the two of us, you and I. Okay.
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
Back in the
Oh,
hole.
for heaven. You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much.
Oh no.
A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there, goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I
Yes.
couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough?
Alright.
I'm positively thrilled.
I don't know.
I really do have so much more to show you.
do
and
really
to talk
like
about,
this hole.
And I've had enough of the hole for a lifetime.
I don't think I want to. I think I want to jump right back into the hole. Here you go.
Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes.
Yep.
I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter.
Okay.
Well, there it is. The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not only is the hole not infinite, but it's barely even a hole at this point. It's more of a concavity, or even a very aggressive divot.
Look how deep this hole is, guys. Here goes!
How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
Okay. Uh-oh. It's broken. Uh-oh.
Is the, teleport button not working?
Maybe.
You sure?
Yep.
Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. Still nothing?
I'm pressing it right now.
I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley.
No.
You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
Oh no, narrator, don't leave me. Well, I guess I'm stuck in this little divot now. I guess. I never actually did this the first time. I don't know what that is. But the first time I did this, I only jumped in once and then I left. So I've never actually experienced this before. It's the music. Hey, we're going down. See you, narrator. I'm off to new adventures. I was gonna say new heights, but this isn't high. This is actually low. So we're going down, not up. Off we go. Ooh. I don't know what we're doing. Change my perspective. What is happening? Hello, Stanley. Alright. Did you change your perception? It changes the music. Heck yeah, it's whole party time. That sounds really weird. Nice music. I don't think I want to change it. Alright. Change your reality. Oh. Okay. Blood ocean. Alright. We're going deep with the dinosaurs. There's puppies. I did not expect that. We're in space now. Change yourself. What the heck? Hold on. What the heck? What is this? What? Are we on our head? I love this. I don't know what's happening though. Okay. Alright. What the heck?
Stanley? Stanley!
No, narrator.
Stanley!
Don't ruin it. No.
You're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley.
That was
because
the
this
best
hole is
dreamland
just
ever,
so
if that's the
darn
case.
Fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really truly focused on the whole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodlepip.
Well, I'd rather get out of the hole now, but alright. Boogaloo, I guess. Oh, is it happening again? Or is something else happening? Oh. We're going back to the office? I hope not. Oh, okay, good. We're just here.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Alright. No more hole. Alright, button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. Alright. Let's do it.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Well, unfortunately, since I've already played this, it's kind of spoiled for me, so I already know it doesn't say my name. It says
Jim.
yeah.
Sorry, I should have clarified.
Jim.
Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is.
Well, my name's
Let's have you
Justin,
role
so
play as Jim to
Jim
really
is kinda
simulate the full
close.
experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself
Jim now.
living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching
Alright,
your
can I
dreams
press the button
crumble
already?
into dust. Do you
I'm
feel
narrator.
it deeply? Are
Yes,
you
I'm
really
Jim.
truly Jim right now?
I'm Jim now.
If
Can I
so,
press the
then
button?
please step forward and press the button.
Jim.
Yes! You see? What a thrill! What a rush! That was you! The button
Yep,
described
that was
you.
me.
Do it again, do it again.
My name's Jim now.
Jim.
It hits even harder the second time. If this
Sorry.
were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a
Maybe.
break from the Jim button.
I'm not sure
too
about that.
emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
I mean, personally, I would still buy the game just to play it on Switch, but I mean, I guess that would be something extra, I guess.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
But you'd make way less money if only people named Jim play the game. It's not a very common name. I mean, it sort of is, but like more like John or like I don't know many other J names. Jesse, I guess, or James. All right. Yeah, this is collectives. They're collectibles. You look so uncomfortable. Alright. Can you find them? Can you find them? Collect them all!
Ah,
Alright, here we go.
collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
This isn't terrifying at all. Stop looking at me. It's such a stark contrast. Oh, I guess no more. Alright. Like them all.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
I like the rewards.
right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Yeah. Hello, Stanley. It's cool looking though. New mug.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features?
They're
Yes, I
okay,
know
I
it's not
guess.
exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but
I like
can
the
feel
hole.
it in my soul. It's going
And I like
to
the
work.
bucket.
There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment.
Collectibles
I'll
are kind of
arrange
weird.
these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Alright.
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on.
Jump
Let me
circle.
do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
Lovely.
Who am I kidding, Stanley?
Bucket.
This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags.
I don't
And
know,
do
there's
very much
2
enjoy
buckets right
creating
there.
gags, but they don't add up to
Something
anything.
inside of that bucket.
I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it.
That's basically what this is.
With respect, with care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Let's go. The Stanley Parable 2. Awesome. Well, that's pretty cool. Even though I've already seen it, but it's still pretty cool. I like that all the colors are changed now as well. Well, that's pretty neat. Alright, let's go. Begin the game.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Who's happy?
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
The transition between cutscene and real game is so smooth. And in the original game, there was like a little jerk that would like show whenever your mouse would It's finally able to move, but it's so smooth now and seamless.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Give us
Stanley
some
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright. Let's do the achievement now.
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
20 times.
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
50 clicks.
No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't... Stanley picked up the bucket.
Bucket!
Okay, great. Now, go touch the bucket on door 437 a few times.
Okay.
Yes, now we're getting somewhere. How about door 415? Give it some bucket love.
Now it's changed to bucket because I have a bucket.
Now back to door number 437.
Okay. Hello, bucket.
You know, I think the copy machine needs some attention. All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere.
Hey.
Okay, now bring the bucket on top of employee 419's desk.
Almost got it.
Yes,
There we go.
this is great. Now the bucket knows exactly what it's like to be employee 419. Now, let's introduce it to door 416.
There's a balloon in the chair. Alright, 416. This is one we couldn't do before.
We've almost got it. Now make the bucket and the copy machine touch again.
That phrasing. Make the bucket and the copy machine touch again.
Finish it off, Stanley. 5 touches of the bucket on door 430.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes! We did it!
Yes!
Wow!
Woohoo!
That felt amazing. You know, not all buckets will get this kind of experience. They won't all know what it's like to slam repeatedly against nearly every door in one section of an office building, or what it's like to be employee 419. Buckets may dream of an experience like this, but few can say they've truly lived it. You've given a bucket hope today. Stanley, I'm very proud of you.
Alrighty. Well, I think it's time that we see the broom closet. Well, first we gotta do this. Or not. Okay, well, something's supposed to happen, but it wasn't happening.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
I sure did. Yeehaw! Hey, let's go. Well, I didn't mean to do that. I don't know why I
Still
did
no one
that.
was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
Broom closet.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket.
No.
You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as
I
day.
feel
This
it.
broom closet believes it deserves the bucket.
It will not get my
I can
bucket.
really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your
It's
companion
my bucket.
and lifelong friend.
It's not the broom closet's
Can't hand it
bucket.
over.
It's my bucket.
No. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley,
I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner?
Absolutely
Well,
not.
Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket
Okay,
as they have changed
I don't think I
and
can do
evolved
that.
over the years. Let him have it.
This is my bucket, and you will never take my bucket. You dang broom closet. You have no respect.
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go.
Yay!
There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet.
Yeah,
with all
broom
your
closet.
meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
Screw you, broom closet. This is my bucket.
All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate.
Hey!
You see, I feel that it works because the sticker is
Also
also
a bucket.
That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, "Ah, it's a bucket." There really is a wide variety of
It's a
applications for
bucket.
this sticker.
It has a bucket sticker on the bucket, so therefore it's a bucket. Alright. Is that everything?
You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us the silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
Hey, take a hike, broom closet. Even though I've really liked you before, but now you're just rude and mean. I don't know what's happening.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
No, I want to go downstairs. Hey!
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Alright, well. Let's go through here.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his
Am I
gaze,
crazy,
but said
bucket?
nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket
no,
close,
I'm crazy.
yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal,
It's not my
everyday
bucket.
Someone else's bucket, perhaps.
Someone
How did
stole
I end
my
up with
bucket?
someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations
I must
Stanley might
find my real
experience without
bucket.
the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious. He
Oh,
exclaimed,
no.
Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad.
I'm flying
Where is
in
it?
the air
I must
because I don't
find it.
have my bucket.
Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me!
I hear you,
the
bucket.
Could it truly be?
He rushed forward from room to room, passing
Oh,
by one
so
bucket
many
after the next.
buckets.
None of them were his. None of them were
Oh,
his
there's
special
buckets
bucket.
everywhere.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from.
Oh no.
The real bucket was inside of him all along.
Literally
It
inside
was
me?
incredibly painful.
Oh no!
Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
The bucket was inside of me. Ow! That sounds terrible.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Oh, here we go.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Backflipped all the way to work. I wish I could do that. Alright, well, it's about time to end the stream, so, thank you guys for showing up. Of course I'm gonna play more of this game soon. I don't know how soon, but it'll be pretty soon. So, yeah. That was one heck of an experience, and there's so much more to do, because, I haven't done all the bucket endings, but, like, on top of all the normal endings, I can also grab the bucket and find a whole bunch of different new endings. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys some other time.